has more celeb numbers than I've had hot dinners. It's celebrity manager Mayah Riaz, everybody.
So Eamon says some damaging things, right? His words are, Philip lies, ITV lies, and it's a den of iniquity. So what does that do, not only for the This Morning brand, but the ITV brand?
It's hugely damaging. You know, when you've got a household brand lying, then it's a difficult one. So the bosses need to address this. It cannot be brushed under the carpet. You know, I think the bosses expected this to probably 2-3 days on the front pages. We've seen it on the front pages even today, weeks after. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. It's not going away. So how do they address it? And they need to, because without the public's trust, they don't have a show. We've seen advertisers pull out. There's a danger of there not being a show, despite what the bosses say, nothing's happening to the show. Well, you need the viewers' trust, and you need to restore that, and you do it by giving answers and not, you know, and they do news reviews just like we do here. They don't address it, and they need to.
Do you know any famous people, Mayah, who aren't affected by bad press, who literally just say, I don't care?
I hear them tell me they don't care, but when it actually happens, it's a different story. It's a late night calls, as I said earlier. It may have hundreds, thousands of great tweets. It's that one or two bad tweets that really resonate with them, and they remember that. So I get a lot of people telling me, oh, I can handle this, because any time that you're in the media, it's going to be good and bad reaction. I try and warn my clients and say that when they go in the media, if they don't get any bad press, they're doing something wrong, because it's always going to be both sides. So you have to prepare them. And then they're like, yeah, Mayah, I can handle it. But the truth is, you can't. We're all humans. Just because you may have a blue tick on Instagram or Twitter doesn't make you inhumane. You can't block it off.
Social Media Kindness Day was set up by Mayah Riaz. It's a date in the calendar which calls for more protection for users of websites. This year's campaign is in memory of television presenter Caroline Flack, who suffered online abuse before she died in February 2020.
When I started Social Media Kindness Day last year, I was inundated in my inbox of stories of people being abused just by putting themselves out there, just by having an account even, and you call them keyboard warriors, and they're almost relentless because they will keep coming at you.
Oh, yeah. Mayah, you must have dealt with some serious divas in your time. So how do you get through a week?
Well, it's part of my job dealing with divas. You just have to tell them, because no one else says no to them. You've got to tell them. That's what they come to me for. But yeah, come on, not TV, I guess. I don't have hump days. I just think, work through it. You know, if you love what you do, hump day isn't a problem. But
so you think it's about kind of staying positive the whole week? Don't think of it like it's your hump day.
Everyone's working towards a weekend. You're living for the weekend, and you're counting down for the weekend. It's like, what about now? You know, just plan something in. And
does that frustrate you then when you have divas, celebrities that kind of come in and they're miserable and they have these amazing lifestyles?
Yeah, but they also have the not so great stuff happening that no one knows about. The ideal weather, and it lands on my doorstep, or I get called at 4 a.m. saying I've been packed in my hiki and I shouldn't.
Oh, really?
I should have been. Yeah, at the beginning it used to be like 4 a.m. calls. I'm like, I thought you were staying home tonight.
So you don't really ever switch off then?
I do now, but that was early days. It just gets to one of the team. But
you've got a voicemail
and also my clients don't tend to go out too much.
Okay.
And if they do,
have you ever had to put a ban on them going out?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Because when they come to me and I won't name any names, but they're a tabloid favourite.
Come on, hit me with a name.
Oh, come on, tabloid favourites, people that get drinks or bought
what
for them.
What do they rhyme with?
I won't say no, but it's just that people who have been born into fame, they get girls all over them. They get paid to go out, and I'm trying to change their careers, and it's you have to tell him you can't go out. You're like a mum to us. Yeah.
And time is ticking, isn't it, Mayah? Because ITV bosses are going to be facing questioning from MPs on Tuesday. They're going to be asked what they knew about the affair and how they handled it. So they're going to have their story straight by then. And it's also going to be televised. It's going to be box office stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen what trials in Hollywood and elsewhere do. Everyone's going to be watching, not only the media, but the public. And actually, I hope this has given them some breathing space. A couple of weeks, get your story correct, find out the facts and restore that trust the public needs in you. So, yeah, I'm glad there's an inquiry because you need answers, you know. Look at what's happened when the media aren't kind. And they need to restore their reputation.
Your job becomes so important that everything else pales in comparison, and it's like you become obsessed, don't you?
Absolutely. And the thing is, when there's a bad story written about you, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, Mayah, why don't they sue?" It costs a lot to pay, for example, to sue. Secondly, tomorrow they'll need the same press that are talking negatively. They'll have a book launch, a perfume launch, or what have you. And they'll need the same media because it's the media that makes you. And as we've seen recently, it's the media that can break you or contribute to your breaking. But you need it. If you're a celebrity, you need a press. There's no denying that.
Here comes the lilt man.
It's been a firm British favourite since 1975.
The totally tropical taste.
Lilt became synonymous with images of paradise, the lilt man,
Have a lilt.
and later, lilt ladies.
Like a great dance.
Marathon has changed its name to Snickers.
It's the latest in a long line of rebrands, controversial at the time, but we tend to get over them in the end.
Have you got the Snickers?
No, love. Just the way I walk.
Lilt hasn't been doing as well as the Fanta brand. And if you look at Lilt, it does have loyal fan base, but it's not as huge as it used to be when it had the huge high-profile adverts that we remember from the 80s and 90s.
So it's goodbye Lilt and hello Fanta.
Well, speaking of jobs there, Mayah has a pretty cool role herself. She knows the industry inside and out, how to spot a star when she sees one, she knows it all. But with social media, it's easier than ever to get your 5 minutes of fame. But Mayah, how do you think people are easier forgotten as well at the same time?
Yeah, you've got, when people come to me, my motto is I can make your 15 minutes last longer. So it's not the first phone call you get in the first job. You have to think of longevity. And in this industry, it's so hard because people tend to go for the easy hits, the Big Brothers or the Jungle. And that's great, but what happens after? You know?
So how do you keep your clients kind of in the limelight? Is that what they want? Do they reach out to you because they want more publicity?
Yeah, because I get calls, and again, naming no names, saying, I'm going to be at Heathrow at 3 o'clock. Can you just tip off the papers? Because they get paid to wear the clothes, it gets in the papers, they get a cut from the paparazzi. So it's a money-making thing for them, and they want, that's what they're in the industry for, they want to be in the forefront.
Has social media made that, does social media make that easier then?
Yeah, but then also, I know a couple of actors and with producers, they're looking at numbers, they're looking for people who have got a big following on social media because then they will promote the movies. So producers and people behind the scenes are also looking at how big the star is because it's
by how many followers they have.
Yeah. Look, you know this game, Peter, there's no manual for fame and there's certainly no manual when you fall like he has.
But obviously a lot of it still, there's hearsay on some of the things, there's speculation, you know, we're sort of being guided by what we're reading every day. So we don't actually, a lot of us, most of us, don't know the true facts yet.
No, absolutely. So there's the mental health of the young person that you mentioned. And look, he hasn't been protected by this. He's in hiding. There's a bounty on his head. Everyone's after his side of the story. So far, he's been protected by the papers. His name isn't in all the papers that we read. Online there is. So, and Philip's mental health as well. And, you know, he opens the papers, he sees himself, he turns on the TV, he's all over it. His DMs, no doubt, everyone's got an opinion because everyone's got an interest in their story. So I worry about both of their mental health. We've seen what happens when you're in the media storm and this story is going and going on. And there's no end to it, is there?
The saga does continue.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the front page of The Sun this morning, Mayah. This is Defiant Holly back on Monday. Now, do you think she will be wanting to come back to This Morning? As you said, the brand is damaged now. It is that family-friendly, warm show. And Holly herself, she stands for that wholesome girl next door image, doesn't she? Do you think she'll be back?
She needs to be back. She hasn't done anything wrong, has she? It can't be trial by association. You know, we have to believe her statement. She didn't know, and she needs to come back, because if she doesn't, then there's speculations about her hiding it. So I think she needs to. What she says and what ITV bosses would want her to say are two different things. She is a big brand name herself. We've seen her do presenting away, so they're not like Ant and Dec, where they can't be without each other. She's done presenting away from Phil. She's got a lucrative commercial deals and a great career as well.
It's a really interesting point, because she also, if you look at the flip side, it's also This Morning that have given her this huge platform. So she, you know, she feels a loyalty, I'm sure, on all sides. So
What advice would you give to someone who wants to be famous in some way? What would you say to them about
I get
it?
this daily on Twitter.
Do you?
My Twitter inbox is full of young girls.
I bet you do.
Saying, how can you make me famous? And I ask them, what for? And it's like, anything. I'll do anything. And that's so tragic to hear, because they don't know what they're putting themselves out to. I would say don't go for it. The people I represent have got fame on the back of what they're doing, whether they're a presenter or an actor, actress. The byproduct is fame. And then it's the paparazzi and the following, and they need people like me involved. But if you're going to get a job, do a job that you love, and if fame is on the back of it, great. But for a price of a handbag that you see, when I first started my career, I used to get girls saying, I know what club this footballer will be at. If I can tell you a story, can you help me? That's not the kind of fame I would recommend or touch with a barge pole, because it's damaging. I could tell you, I could go on longer than your show is airing for about telling you what happens.
I've made a little faux pas with my fashion choices, haven't we all?
Yeah, but some of ours are hidden and not in public domain.
No, I got asked that in an interview the other day. They said, like, do we feel that red carpet, best dressed, worst dressed, should be eradicated? And I don't know about that one, because, again, it goes back to one person's opinion. It's your style. We're not slagging off somebody's body or anything. It's one person's opinion. What's your opinion on the best dressed?
I've had clients on the red carpet, and they are the ones like who wore their best, and I just think, the amount of effort that goes to choosing the red carpet look.
Tell me about it.
You're right. It's one person, one fashion editor's version on it. Why is that entertainment? That opinion. I just think it should be eradicated, because you never know whether that person is strong enough to face it.
Meeting the man or woman of your dreams could be about to get easier. Mobile dating app Tinder is rolling out an online version. Well, now you can not just get it on your mobile, you can get it on your computers and your laptops as well. But you can also get a sneaky work mode option that could help wannabe Casanovas find dates while they're at work, guys. What do you make of that? May, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, but how do you swipe on a laptop?
I think it must be a clicker.
Touch. Oh, is it?
Interesting.
Probably not the same.
The whole thing was that you could just go, no.
Yeah,
That looks good. Oh, hang on a minute.
I think you
Not that I know,
maybe
obviously.
you can do on kind of on the tablets and stuff. You might be able to do that, but it must be a cheeky click as well.
Yeah.
But what do you make of Tinder as a concept?
Well, you hear all sorts. You don't think of lasting relationships, but I'm actually going to a wedding of a friend of mine who's met her husband-to-be on Tinder. Yeah, tomorrow they're getting married. So
that is a success story.
Yeah, 4 years ago we went on holiday because she broke up with her partner, went on Tinder and happily ever after. Has got a child with him. And
wow.
Yes.
You don't hear that very often.
I've not heard anyone else. And the statement we've had, Ellie, we're not believing, because they said there was an investigation Well, clearly not, because, look, Philip admitted he lied. There was an affair. They said there was an investigation. Clearly, it didn't go deep enough. So, yes, everyone's going to be watching it. And all eyes on Holly next week on Monday when she comes back.
The argument from journalists is always, well, these people courted the media. They needed us for that. Is that true or not?
They do need you. There's no denying whether, if they have a book launch or TV show, they need the media. They don't need the negative side of the media. Just because you go out there, do a press conference for a book or show, what have you, doesn't mean that you should be having Valentine's cards written about you, jokes, written, or the damning side of it. You should not be slammed for your work. You and I wouldn't go to work and expect that to happen. And, everyday people don't know what it's like. And you think, oh, well, they get it day in, day out. But the thing is, it's so easy to read now. It's at your fingertips. You pick up the phone and you see the notifications pop up with comments from keyboard warriors, I call them, the trolling, and then the comments on news sites. So they don't need that.
Mayah Riaz, really good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for your analysis.